Hi everybody, this is Elizabeth with Live Simple, Live Free, and people have been asking me to please give a report on what happened when I saw the pulmonologist, and I'm going to do that today. I am sitting outside of the house in Florida, right in front of that gorgeous live oak. Some people say it's a water oak. Anyway, the tree with all the moss hanging from it that I love to look at out my office window. Beautiful, beautiful day. Breathing here is nice. It really is. So I have definitely had some issues with things like psoriasis and some asthma that usually is just reacting to something. I don't just get asthma attacks all the time. But it's been obvious there's been some autoimmune issues. And one neurologist even thought that there might have been a little bit of a connection with that. We will occasionally hear a car go by. And we may hear a rooster. We have a rooster that lives next door. I love it. Anyway, the one neurologist thought there might have been a kind of a correlation to the inflammatory issues when I had the clot for the stroke. And so anyway, there's been some things like that through the years. And I was on Humira for 10 years, which just cleared up my skin, my joints pretty tremendously. I mean, it didn't cause, that way I wasn't getting worse joint damage and stuff. But it's very difficult to stay on Humira once you're on Medicare, unless you have a very low income. So that's just been the way it is, you know. So anyway, okay. I did have COVID right at the end of 2020. There was no vaccines or anything like that even in the wind yet that much. And so I did have it, and it was, you know, kind of a rough go there for a few weeks. I didn't have to be hospitalized or anything. And then I never completely felt strong again after that. Not really. I did eventually start being able to smell and taste things again. And then that was like right around, January or so of 2021 that I finally kind of recovered somewhat from it. And then I finally was scheduled just for a test I had to get done in September. In fact, I'll say what it is because it's a very good idea. It was a colonoscopy. I highly recommend them. They're lifesavers. Anyway, when they were checking me just to get ready for the colonoscopy, they discovered a pretty definite heart murmur. And so when they discovered that, then of course they did a stress test and some kind of all these weird machine tests and stuff. And I had some what they call stenosis in my aortic heart valve. And so they were, starting me on some medicine to try to help kind of support my heart. And then the following spring, I got pneumonia. It was mild. It was a mild case. But anyway, that's just a quick run through, I hope quick enough. And after the pneumonia, I just really never really felt like myself again. I've actually been a pretty active person and kind of tough, And it was, I think the stroke was the first thing that ever got me to where there was a limit to what I could push myself to do. But especially after the, I lost some ground after COVID, and then I lost some ground again after the pneumonia. And then just a few months after that, I can't remember the timing exactly, I had been really starting to have some trouble breathing. And, I planted my garden last year, bless its heart, and got everything going, and then I just started feeling really, really pretty bad. And my poor garden was so neglected. But anyway, I went in just for a routine doctor's appointment, just to check meds, and while she was sitting there with me, she got really concerned. I was really getting short of breath. I had what's called phoresis. Anyway, really severe cold sweat, and kind of dull pain in my chest and stuff. So she just wanted to make sure it wasn't my heart, and so she called an ambulance, and I ended up in the hospital. Okay, now when I was in the hospital, then of course they reran every test possible for my heart, for everything they could think of, and I was in the hospital for a few days. And then it was there that I met while I was in there, when they were doing like some of the tests and stuff. Well, in fact, a lot of the techs were concerned about doing the stress test because my heart murmur was kind of so definite, loud and everything. And the specialist came in, and it was fun. I mean, he was explaining to everybody what you listen for and what you have to pay attention to, and then my heart was just basically still kind of good enough to do the stress test. And everybody that came in, he had them listen to me because I was a real learning experience, apparently. I was something about the heart murmur that they can learn from. Anyway, he went ahead and scheduled me for a heart catheterization and a pulmonary function test. And he is a kind of big shot doctor in a city nearby, and had come down to my more local hospital in Virginia. I think he kind of rotates through there, but anyway, he's mainly up in a bigger city. And he also works with a really good pulmonologist up there. So anyway, they done CAT scans, all this stuff. They do tons of stuff. So they did the heart catheterization and they did the pulmonary function test. And the specialist, the cardiologist, basically told me that my valve's at least good for a few more years. Well, that's good. I mean, they're keeping an eye on things. But then the pulmonologist said that he wasn't as concerned about the pulmonary function test as he was about the CAT scan. So now we get to what I'm really getting to. I had been discovering that when we could get down to Florida, when it was cold up there, man, did I feel better. Breathed better, and Barry pointed out that the lower elevation could also make a big difference because it's about 2,000 feet lower here, basically at sea level. There's more oxygen in the air. But anyway, it took a long time to get the appointment with the specialist for the pulmonology. But I finally went and saw him about a week and a half ago, and really great guy. He gave me a long time to really figure things out and look at what's going on. Anyway, he showed me the CAT scan, and there's areas that are just nice and dark like they're supposed to be, but the rest of my lungs are just full of spots and streaks, and I kind of look like a Dalmatian running in a hurry or something. Just lots and lots of spots. He would go through different levels of the CAT scan, and they were just all through my lungs, both sides. And he said there's just some kind of inflammatory reaction going on. He wants to find out exactly what it seems like I might be reacting to or what's happening, but the airflow in these passages in my lungs is just not good. I'm going to interject something here. I have to laugh at myself. I kind of missed a kind of important thing. I have had autoimmune issues. I don't know exactly how that's going to tie in, but this is interstitial lung disease. He definitely diagnosed that. It could be autoimmune hypersensitivity, interstitial lung disease, but he doesn't know for sure. But it definitely is interstitial lung disease. I do have that diagnosis. So thanks for bearing with me. I thought I better put that in there. Okay. It helps me kind of understand why I have gotten so short of breath, and why sometimes, my whole fight or flight, the whole thing where you suddenly rev up and everything and every adrenaline gets going, woo, I don't handle that real great right now. I just have a hard time getting my breath back, and if I get startled, it takes me a while for everything to settle back down. And I don't know what factor the heart is in that. I mean, they're so interconnected, but anyway, my heart is being, kept an eye on. And but anyway, so he wants me to do another CAT scan, which I'll probably be doing. Well, I told him, I said, I'm supposed to be going down to Florida. What's going to happen here? And he said there'd be no problem with waiting till I got back, kind of like, go down and enjoy yourself. And I was so glad. But anyway, as soon as I get back, I'm going to be getting a special kind of CAT scan just to show how well my lungs are getting air in and out. Once my lungs have air, the oxygen's getting into my blood. That's no problem. I'm not having any transfer issues, but the passages are just not opening back up. They're inflamed. They're just not. They're not letting the air in and out like they should. And so he's going to want me to do a CAT scan. He wants to look at that, and he's talking lung biopsy because he really wants to know why this is happening. And I agree. I don't like the idea of a lung biopsy, but I want to know why it's happening. So he's already got me scheduled in August to see him again, but that's going to be after a whole bunch of tests and stuff are run, getting blood work. You know, I've already given lots of blood. Anyway, he was pretty cool because he said he really wants to come up with what they call a unified diagnosis. And that means he wants to kind of see what all factors may be coming into play with all of this. And so I appreciate that. I really kind of want to find out what's going on. And he doesn't want to start me on stuff. He doesn't want to be doing any kind of treatment until he knows what it really is. So I'm supposed to be on the CPAP machine, which has been really kind of hard to get, and that did not make him happy because I've got past the time now at night where it's not so much that breathing is obstructed as it is that for some reason my brain isn't telling my lungs to breathe or something. It's called a central sleep apnea, which is why I'm going to be propping the head of my bed up, anyway, that all helps with breathing. And he wants to make sure I'm not getting any kind of gastro reflux, because that would not be good at all. So anyway, I tell you what, I'm very glad that I have good teeth. I do. They're very strong. I'm 67 and I have good teeth. And also, man, my hearing is just, what a difference it's made. You know, I really have appreciated the follow-up I've gotten with these EARLUX hearing aids. And EARLUX is one thing that we're kind of partnering with. I've been really, really pleased with how it has just opened the world back up for me. So there is a link in the description below that just has videos about the whole process I've had with these hearing aids. And because this is one thing we are working with them on. If somebody is interested, you can get a discount, but that's all in the information in the description below. But like I said, I'm so grateful to be able to be here. It's beautiful here. I am looking forward to spring and summer back in Virginia. And I'm trying to be as active as I can. I'm trying to swim when I get an opportunity. I have a 3mm neoprene dry wetsuit vest that I wear when I'm swimming because it's cold water. Well, 72 degrees year round, but whenever I can get to one of the springs. But that keeps my chest warm, and but I love it. And so anyway, we'll see what happens. People have wondered what's going on. I do have days when I really have trouble with stamina and with breathing. And when I saw my lungs, I was really pretty impressed that I'm doing as well as I am, actually. So it all kind of boils down to some kind of inflammatory reaction. He wants to find out exactly whether it's some kind of really autoimmune thing or just some kind of constant allergic reaction, or just he's testing all sorts of stuff. And ultimately, probably the biopsy would be our best bet. So anyway, he seems very sharp, and he's working with a really good cardiologist, so I'm blessed by that. And I do have doctors here in Florida that we've already got signed up with. So alrighty, I guess that kind of covers. I hope I didn't go on and on too much for you guys, but I just wanted to give you kind of an idea. And I want to be able to stay active. I want to be able to keep things going, and so what I can do, I absolutely do. And it's amazing what you can get done if you just do things for a while and then you rest, and then you do it for a while and you rest. So alrighty. Well, I know people are going to have all sorts of suggestions, and I appreciate your care and your loving, and I'm really just trying to make the best decisions that I can, and praying, and ultimately trusting God. I mean, our days in this earth are never ever wasted, and He knows. And even if my body feels weaker, my heart, my emotions, my spirit are strong, and I praise God for that. So, love you guys. Live simple, live free, and we will see you later. Be very blessed. Bye-bye.